All right, good morning everyone. I'm sorry about what just happened. My camera went sideways and I can't rotate it during the broadcast. I don't know why it rotated before the during the broadcast, and I don't know why I couldn't turn it back. But anyway, let's move on. Today is Casing Tuesday. It's the day where we take a card out of the catalog and we copy it and change something about it, or we copy it and we change it completely. And the cool thing about this is it really helps us all improve our stamping. And we have a group of bloggers and we all meet over on our Casing Tuesday Facebook group, and you are welcome to join us and post your cards there too. Each week we have one particular card that we are focusing on, so we can do that and all enjoy that card and how everyone translates that card into your own version. So that's really cool. Sorry for earlier. If you're just joining me, I think I've got my camera on the right way now, because I don't want to be talking to you for 20 minutes sideways, which would kind of suck. So anyway, I'm going to switch my camera around now so we can get started, and I'll show you the card we'll be making, and I will take you through it and stamp it from start to finish. Okay, here we go. There's my lovely view this morning. We've got lots of sunshine, I think, headed our way, so that's kind of cool. Let me get my camera situated. Okay. All right, so this is the card that we are casing or copying, and I love this card because it's a little bit different than what we normally have. We've got kind of a square frame, and then we've got some embossing in the background and some paper in the background. So it's a very cute card in the catalog. I don't have the stamp set yet, so I thought I would do something a little bit different, because this week the focus of my blog this week, I'm doing a product of the week. It's the Bouquet Blooms Bundle, and it has this beautiful stamp set, and it has these dies that go with it, and they create a gatefold card. I'm not doing the gatefold today, but I promise you I will be doing the gatefold tomorrow. I'll show you how to use this to create a gatefold, and I'm going to try and have a couple of different options available, so we don't just do the standard gatefold. I'll probably do a few different things with it. So I'll be bringing you a video on that tomorrow. So this is a great bundle too, because if you're in the US, it's less than $40, so it's a really good price. This is the card that I made. So instead of having a square frame in the background, I did a circle frame, kind of like a wreath. And I had to use this beautiful tufted embossing folder. And a lot of people have been embossing it in metallic, so I had to do that too. This is using our silver foil, and it just creates this beautiful kind of shimmer in the background, but because silver is so neutral, you can pair it with any color. So I kind of tried to keep the background neutral because there were a lot of colors in the flowers. So that's the card. So it's not a hard card, but I'm going to show you how I made it. So we have to do a lot of stamping today. So let me grab all my pieces that I need to stamp. We have to stamp a lot of flowers. Let me grab all my flowers. Okay, these are all the things I need to stamp. So let's start out with, this is Granny Apple Green. Let me open that up. And we're going to need this big floral piece. I'm going to ink this up, and we're going to stamp it on Granny Apple Green cardstock. I'm trying to pair up the same color ink with the same color cardstock. And then we need to do the wreath, and we're stamping that in Granny Apple Green as well. This is a big stamp, so I'm going to pick up my ink pad and lay my stamp facing up. Just going to tap that all over my surface. And then I'm just going to stamp that down on Whisper White cardstock. Okay, just going to close up my ink pad so I don't stick my fingers in it. Next, we need Calypso Coral. And I'm going to grab this stamp. This is just a bold flower stamp. So basically what we're doing, we're creating the flowers that layer over top of this. All of the flowers in the stamp set have a counterpart, in this image have a counterpart that is smaller. So we're going to layer over top of this base image. So that's what I'm doing right now. We'll need these two little guys. I think they're clean. I've been stamping a lot with them, so I want to make sure I'm not muddying up my colors. So they are going to be stamped on So Saffron. And I need one of these flowers. And I need one of these flowers. Okay. Then I need my Melon Mambo ink pad. This is my old ink pad. I'm eventually replacing all my ink pads over the next few months. I'm doing it a bit at a time. I don't know about you, but I want to have different Stampin' Up! Products, and if I just put all my money into new ink pads, then I wouldn't have as much money to spend on other products. So I'm doing it kind of a few at a time. So then this flower, which is kind of like a rose, oops, sorry, bumped the camera there. I'm just going to ink that up and stamp that onto my Melon Mambo cardstock. Then finally we need, where are you guys? Oh, these little images. And this is Highland Heather. And I'm going to stamp these twice because we need 3 flowers. Highland Heather on, oops, Highland Heather. I kind of moved a little bit on that stamping, so I'm going to stamp it one more time. I wasn't too stable when I came down. Part of the problem is the camera is a little bit in my way when I'm stamping. Let me see if I can get it so it's not so droopy. Okay, so when I'm stamping, I can't always see exactly where I'm about to stamp. So let's go ahead and die cut all of those. I think I've got everything that I need. Let me bring in my Big Shot. Okay, let's start off with, I have my magnetic platform here. And let's start off with this piece. This plate's a little flatter, so I'm going to put it down. And we're going to do this image right here, or this die right here that covers this one. You can actually roll through more than one piece at a time. So maybe I will do this one and this one this time. Okay, I'm just trying to get it settled so it doesn't shift. Come on. All right. So let me do these. Run them through. Probably should have run through some of these ahead of time so you didn't have to watch me do all of them. But I'm going to just go ahead and do these now because I didn't do them ahead of time. So I'm just getting these settled. Sometimes these little dies like to flip around a little bit, so you have to just move them into an area where they don't flip around. So I'm going to try and do some more of these. So I know these little dies have these little images to line up, but I didn't pay a lot of attention. See, this one has a little arrow on the stamp. So if you stamp those arrows up and you have the die, now it would match facing up, but you know, I didn't do that. So now I just have to kind of eyeball where it goes. These ones aren't too bad, so I'm not going to have too much trouble. This one needs to just kind of come around like that. Okay, and then let's bring my pad on top. And I'm just trying to do a few images at a time, because if I do all of them at the same time, it sometimes gets hard to make sure they're all lined up. So I'm kind of just selecting a few at a time. So we'll just need to do one more pass to get the rest of the flowers. And that needs to go in the garbage. That needs to go in the garbage. So we need this little guy. Let me figure out how he goes. Nope. There's one petal that's bigger than the other on that one. And if I had only paid a little bit more attention, I could have shown you the trick with lining them up. But truly, these ones aren't too bad because you can actually tell how to line them up. And then let's do these last two flowers. Then I'll show you how I did my wreath. Okay. I've got a pile of pretty flowers now. Throw those out. Okay, so for the wreath, you are going to use the layering circles framelets. And you can cut this full thing out, but I cut mine a little bit smaller because I was going for the same look as in the original card, because it was like a little bit of a smaller frame. I'm trying to decide. No, it's definitely this one. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I had to decide. I had them set up and then it looked like it was almost too big. So I need this one. This one's the second largest one. And then this one, nope, that's not the right one. It's this one. It's the second largest one, and then it is 1, 2, 3, I think it's the fifth largest one. It's going to take off just a little bit of the green on the inside. I'm just trying to make sure it looks centered. So this looks symmetrical. Okay, so now I'm ready to run this through. I'm cutting 2 circles at the same time. It also makes it easier to center it when you do that. So here is my cool little wreath. Then we need to do one more thing before we put the big shot away. And I just realized that because I have my magnetic platform, I don't have an embossing platform. So just give me a second. All right, sorry about that. All right, I have my Big Shot platform because it's a little lower than my magnetic platform. You need to use that when you're embossing. So I've got a piece of silver foil here, and this piece is 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. My tufted embossing folder, and I've got the Stampin' Up! Logo is facing up. You want to make sure that you've got this centered in the pattern because it looks better when it's the sides and the top look even. This is a thick embossing folder, so you don't need a bottom cutting plate. You just use a top cutting plate. So I'm going to put this right on my platform, and then I'm going to take my second cutting plate and put it on top and run it through. If you ever feel like your sandwich isn't going through your machine well, stop and take a look and analyze, because you might have built a sandwich that's too big. So look at this. Isn't that pretty? The foil embosses so beautifully with this this folder. So okay, I think we've cut everything, hopefully. This is a very dye-intensive project. So let's get the flowers all adhered onto here. That will be a good thing to do first. So I'm going to use Tombow for that. And so you can see this provides a great base to match the flowers onto. So I'm going to start off with this flower here. And it is, you know, actually they have the exact same flower center. So you can take a look and you can see, that matches up exactly here. So you just put it down like that. Next, I'm going to adhere this flower. This is Tombow glue that I'm using. I don't know if it matters that much if this one is straight or not, but this is the pattern for this one. I'm looking at the flower center to kind of match it up. And then I'm going to do this one next, and I believe, I'm trying to think which end is down. I don't know, I think it's this one. Anyway, just as long as it covers up the greenery underneath. Layer that one on. Now for the rose, I'm actually going to use a dimensional, so let me continue on and do the little purple flowers first. So for that, I start off on one end, stick a flower on there, take this one, stick it on here, and this little guy, he's going to come on top of both of those flowers to kind of layer over here like that. Then let me grab a dimensional. Come here. Here you guys. So I'm actually gonna use 2 mini dimensionals. Could have used one big one, but I ended up using 2 little ones. Let me see how this best fits on here. And then this one will come on there like that. So we've got one little purple flower left over. And so now this is going to come on here like this. We need to do one more thing stamping wise. You're going to need a strip of cardstock that is 1/2 inch wide. In my measurements on my blog, I said this piece is 4 inches long, which it is, but you can cut it off a little bit. I'm going to use my triple banner punch. So I'm just sliding this in along here upside down, and I am not going to push it all the way to the bottom, which you could do if that helps you line it up. But sometimes I find it's easier just to kind of line it up top here, because I can tell a little bit better exactly where my V is and if it's symmetrical. So once that looks good, I'm just going to punch it. Now this means I might need to trim it off a little bit later on. And I need my Granny Apple Green ink pad again. And I'm going to use my little thanks stamp. Ink that up and try and stamp that on there straight. That's pretty good. All right, so I've got a card base that's 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches in Granny Apple Green. I need my bone folder. I'm going to smooth down that fold right there. So this piece is going to come on here like that. I've got a piece of Tropical Escape Designer Series paper. I've cut this piece to 1 3/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And you're probably looking at this paper saying, Tropical Escape? That looks like white with black lines on it. Actually, it has a leafy pattern on the back, but I wanted a really neutral pattern for underneath here, and I thought too much green might have been too much green, and it would have detracted from my wreath. So I went actually with this pattern that's a little bit more neutral. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to glue everything, the base down, and then I'm going to arrange my wreath afterwards. So let's just make sure the card base is facing the right way. And then I'm going to glue this on here. So in the original card, this was not straight, but today I'm making it straight because I couldn't deal with the crookedness of this. Everything's going to be straight today. So how's that? I'm going rogue. I'm going to take a little bit of snail to adhere this paper to the back because this is designer series paper. I have a feeling that if I put Tombow on the back of this and put it on a shiny surface like that, all the moisture would be absorbed into the paper, causing it to wrinkle. So I decided to use a lighter adhesive for that. So I'm just going to put this on here like that. So now I need to arrange my little wreath. Okay, so I'm looking at my card originally and seeing how that looks. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then this little guy is going to have to come in here. So I think I'm going to need to trim him up. Let me do that. So this one's going to come in here like that. Do you ever find it hard to arrange something to glue on? And like you're just trying to get it like in that perfect little mode. So let's see. I'm going to pick this up. I want this kind of more right on the edge. I want this here, here. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm going to try and pin all of this so it's kind of stuck. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow right here under my greeting. Squeeze it under there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow right around there to pin this down. Let me turn this over. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I've kind of just got them stuck together just a little bit. And now I'm going to put Tombow on all of the pieces to keep them down together. That was my little kind of tricky trick without taking it apart because I really wanted this arranged in a certain way. Okay. Yay, that looks pretty good. So now the last thing I did was I added pearls. So I'm just going to grab some pearls with my paper piercing tool and add them to my project. I've got leftover pearls on different sheets, so please excuse that. I'm just using them up. I know it doesn't look pretty. I've got some of the old pearls on this sheet that I haven't used up yet. So see how these little guys, they like to kind of flip around. If you can get them onto the end of your paper piercing tool, they're so much easier to maneuver. And then you're just kind of like lifting them off and putting them right into the right spot. So that basically is the card. It's not a hard card. It just has a lot of little pieces to it, but it's so bright and colorful. And I think one of the hardest things when you're doing flowers is how do you arrange them such that they look pleasing to the eye? And maybe positioning this takes a little time, but you have that nice background piece. Where is my stamp? This piece right here. This is the background, the base piece that allows you to line up everything so beautifully, because that's the part I have the hardest time with. So, you know, just being able to stamp those flowers and layer them on top, and then you have a little bit of green peeking through, just makes it really nice and perfect. So this wreath is really easy to come together. And I think, you know, I stamped it live and it came out almost identical to the card that I stamped earlier. So, all right, let me see if you guys have any questions for me. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. You've got to absolutely try using that tufted embossing folder with metallic foils. It is just the coolest thing ever. So let me turn this around. Oh, hard to turn around while you have a rolling chair behind you. All right, so this week it's all about the Bouquet Blooms. I keep saying bouquet. I don't know, in my head there's so many different ways to say it, but I'm focusing on that bundle this week. So tomorrow I will show you finally how to do a gatefold card using this bundle, and then I have a cool 3D project for you later on in the week, and so I hope you will join me for that. And so I'll probably be doing, tomorrow I'll be doing a recorded video, and later on in the week I'll be doing a Facebook Live. I might be doing a Facebook Live for my 3D project. I'll have to see how it goes. Tend to like to do my 3D projects as a recorded video, but they take a little longer because I tend to edit those ones, and it just takes a lot more time to do that. So we'll just have to see how it goes. There will be some sort of tutorial attached to the 3D project though, so that will be easier for you to create. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and I'm back here every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. to do a Facebook Live for you. So I hope you will join me then. Have a great week, guys. Bye-bye.